So as we saw in the previous chapter of how the different stages and the life cycle of the SVN repository, that is a centralized version control system repository, works. This website is Tortoise SVN is a software which works on the similar functionality, and there is downloads also, like for 32-bit OS and for 64-bit OS. As my operating system, that is Windows, my system is of 64-bit, I have downloaded this version and I've already done this. So after downloading, like it asks for the downloads thing, after downloading that particular version, you just need to run, because it's just a similar software like any other software, you just need to run it and execute it on your system. So for now, I'm not downloading it because I've already downloaded it. Now I'll show you like how in the particular drive the repository for Tortoise SVN, that is SVN centralized version control system, takes place. So if you remember in our previous slide I have mentioned, like first thing is to create a repository and second is a checkout process. So let's go to our drive. I have a drive, C drive over here. I'll create a folder name will be SVN. Okay. Later, I'll do a right click. In right click, you can see there are some options over here. SVN checkout, Tortoise SVN, and many more. So Tortoise SVN, I'll say create repository here. Once I click on this particular option, it gives me the thing that repository was successfully created. Do you want to create a default structure? The default structure is trunk, branches, tags, and many more. And the path is C drive SVN. So I say create folder structure. So it says that okay, the directory structure has been successfully created. Okay. Now I'll just go inside this particular drive of SVN. And you can see there is a folder structure. That is, there is a conf, there are DB folder, there is a hooks folder, and many more logs and all that. After this I'll do SVN checkout. So I'll just do a checkout over here. That was the first procedure if you remember. So I'll just check out. So all the branches, tags, trunks, all these has been done perfectly. Now if you go to the C drive, I can see there is a tick mark and SVN WC folder created. So it has a branches, it has tags, and it has trunks in it. So this is the way SVN actually works. The basic folder structure is present over here. So my first procedure is being done. Now what I'll do, inside branches, I'll create a sample file, a new file named demo.txt. For now, this file is not added to the system, it's just present locally. So I'll keep it locally. Now inside this file, I'll create, this is demo text file for SVN. Okay, I'll save it. I'll save this copy. Now what I'll do, first of all, I will add this file. So inside Tortoise SVN, I'll say add. So this is the way a new file is being added. Then later, I will move inside this particular thing of Tortoise SVN. After adding, I'll say commit. So inside commit, I will say there is a new file added inside the branch folder. Okay, the file is added, committing the transaction has done. Okay, now again after here you'll again see a tick mark after refreshing. This means the commit has been done. Suppose now I make again some changes over here. I open this file and just mention some author name. Some changes have been done. I make a change and that's it. Save the file. You'll see a red mark over here. What does this red mark actually indicate? The red mark indicates that there are some changes made in the file, but it has not been committed yet. So simple, right click and I'll say commit. And I put a message over here. First and important primary thing which I need to mention, it's a very good practice to always give a message over here, because whenever someone maintains a history and he gets the message changes, then it helps, it makes him very simpler to get the information. Okay. changes, done. Now again you'll see there is a tick mark, which means you have an updated file with you. You can also do an update over here to see that if some other user has been made a changes, then it has been updated or not. Once it is done, it says completed at revision 3. So it gives a revision number for each and every update, commit, and any changes done. So this was about the major structure of SVN, the life cycle, as I mentioned in my presentation. Like first of all, I made a repository, I made checkout and then updated it, performed some changes, how to review changes and see. So that we'll see for now. I'll go inside my directory and I'll click on tortoise SVN, and there are n number of options if you can see, like check for modification, revision graph, show log. Show log will help you to understand like who has used this particular file. Before the beginning of the chapter, I did mention that there is a special kind of a database which keeps a track of who is a user and who has done everything. So here the username is there with the time and with the message, like what changes has been made in the particular folder or file. So file name was nothing but branches demo.txt, and these all changes has been done. So this is a way of analyzing the statistics of the SVN. So if conflict, whenever what happens in conflict, suppose this file is modified by me and some other user, then both of them try to commit it. Suppose I committed and later the user committed with the old version of the copy. Well, in that case, he gets a conflict and the conflict message is displayed in SVN. With the right click, you will get a conflict also, and later the merge option helps you to merge whatever the changes has been done. The updated changes is maintained in record. So this was about understanding like a demo example of how SVN, that is a basic example of a centralized version control system, takes place. Now you have got a better picture of centralized version control system. Later we'll move on to, in the next chapter we'll move on the distributed version control system, that is Git, and how it works. So we'll check out of the basics on the next chapter.